What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to your channel. For today's video, we got a little bit of a different one. I figured since Rostermania is in full effect, I announced my free agency, beginning of champs, essentially, because, Seattle got squad wiped, as we all know. Everyone has started to catch up, and Rostermania is just in full swing. It's in its blossoming. It's going great. There's moves being made left and right, players being dropped, things that are happening that I myself, which I tend to know most of the stuff. There's some shit that's happened that I had no clue. There are two moves that I just no idea. So we're gonna dive into it today, guys. Maybe give some predictions on what I think is gonna happen. If this video does well enough, I might continue to make them as Rostermania unfolds. It's just like a fun little thing to do. I don't really talk about off-season moves as much, but if, like I said, if the video does well enough and you guys enjoy it, then we might continue. So strap in, ladies and gents. Rostermania is here. Alrighty, guys, so starting from the top, I'm just gonna go announcement by announcement. We had the Paris Legion squad wiping their entire roster on their Seattle Surge shit. So this opens up an entire team capable of making moves. Obviously, we don't know what kind of money they want to spend, and as they have in the past, they had most players on the minimum. That seems to be their forte for Modern Warfare and the Cold War season. So I don't know if they're willing to spend big cash to bring in S-tier players. I don't know what their plan is to build around, if they're going to go the challenger route, try to grow some talent, or if they're just going to throw the bag at an S-tier player like Crim, because as I said, we'll get there. But I really don't know what Paris is thinking here. Obviously, they didn't want to keep any players to build around, which is interesting, because I think Donnie and Scraps, they have really good slaying potential, but it really just matters who you put around them. So Paris have 4 open slots. I don't know what kind of money they're willing to spend or what route they're going to go. So that's a huge question mark for me. I really haven't heard anything personally about them, but I really think that they should go the challenger route. I think there's a lot of people that aren't currently in the league that definitely deserve shots. A little bias here, but definitely people like Casey, Pander, people like Nate, Pentagram, his teammate. There's just a lot of really good challenger players like Mohawk. There's just people that should be in the league, in my opinion, that really aren't, that deserve a spot to at least try to showcase their talents, because the challenger talent pool for the Cold War season was absolutely nuts. So I think there's a lot of different routes that you can take there. Moving on to the announcement that no fucking clue was Crim 6 getting dropped. Now this is, I don't even know where to begin with this. Like I said in the intro, I normally know a lot of the moves before they end up happening. This one, I don't think anyone knew. I genuinely don't think a single person in the fucking COD community knew that Crim was going to get dropped. And you don't drop Crim. Now, he got dropped from Optic, went to Dallas, won World Championship, and they got third. It wasn't the season that they wanted, but unless there's some absurd blockbuster move that's about to happen that I don't know about yet, I don't see a reason for this, unless it's some form of like Clay reunion, but we don't have any New York news as of right now when this video is being made. So I don't know what Dallas's mindset is here. They also dropped Reese, which I'm happy that he got another shot, because I don't think his potential was realized on LAG, obviously. But I think Reese slotted into that team perfectly. I think he is by far an S-tier sub. I mentioned in one of my previous tier list videos, but he has a pace that's very similar, like a BZ and Kleenex and players like that. Very in your face. So I don't understand where Dallas is really trying to take their team. Like I said, Clay is like the rumor that everyone is thinking. Just the reunion makes the most sense. For Kyler's name thrown around as well. I just don't know if that bridge was burned with Kyler to bring that World Championship team back. And even then, a lot of people were saying that they should have kept Clay over Crim throughout the Cold War season as well, because Clay had a pretty good year. Barring his benching or whatever happened with that drama before stage 5, Clay was really, really, really good at Cold War. So I think that a lot of people held the sentiment that the Dallas team would have been better with Clay instead of Crim. So maybe the players themselves were starting to think that as well. Reading it as much as they did, maybe, and then having Stro maybe bring it up during the offseason. Who knows? Like I said, New York hasn't made any moves yet. They haven't made any roster decisions. There's nothing public. So I could be talking out of my ass, and people could be talking out of their ass. But just in terms of logic and deductive reasoning, that seems to be the most probable move for them. I don't know where Crim ends up. Crim shakes up Rostermania in a way that very few players can, because his decision on where he wants to play is going to impact almost every single roster move, because he has the pull for, he could pretty much walk on to probably 10 out of the 12 franchises. So it creates a lot of drama because he's going to take someone's spot that thought that they were safe. He's going to bring players that other organizations thought that they had. But, if you get the opportunity to play with Crim, you don't really want to pass that up most of the time. So Crim is a huge player in this Rostermania, and I don't think that we've even scratched the surface of the crazy shit that's about to happen. So I'm excited to see what ends up happening. I don't know where Crim's going to end up. That's like a huge domino that needs to fall in order for people to really understand how the layout of the rest of the Rostermania is going to go. But like I said, whatever happens, Twitter is going to fucking implode and Tactical Rabs and make a video and get 80,000 views. But it's going to be nuts, man. I'm excited to see where Crim ends up because him not on like a big brand like Optic or Dallas seems kind of weird. So we'll see. Moving on, we have the news that dropped this morning when I'm filming this video is Dylan Envoy is an unrestricted free agent. And if you guys aren't aware of what unrestricted versus restricted free agent means, I have gotten a lot of questions and people seem to be kind of confused about it. Unrestricted means you can do whatever you want. You have no boundaries. You can approach any team can approach you. You can take any offer you want. There's no limitations. Restricted free agent means that you either A, need a buyout, or B, you need to be traded. So restricted free agent means that the team that you're currently on still owns your contract, but they don't want you on the team anymore, but they want some sort of value out of you on the market. So Dylan, unrestricted, meaning he can walk on to whatever team he wants and make a team incredible. Now, he is an S-tier player, incredible Cold War season, incredible S&D mind. Everyone knows him for those routes and stuff like that. His predictability is like the one gripe that I think a lot of Optic fans really had about his play. Is like a lot of people thought that as the year evolved, he didn't. And a lot of people thought that like his gameplay became very one-dimensional. So that was pretty much the one gripe, but he had an insane takeover potential. Didn't do too well at Champs, which, it happens. Everyone can't have the best tournament of their lives. But Stage 5, he absolutely fried. So I think that obviously Dylan is an S-tier player. Whatever team that he walks towards or approaches is going to be infinitely better right off the bat. And then really quick, guys, just to round out the video, as I'm sure all of you guys are aware and are wondering why I haven't talked about it and touched on Matt's retirement just a little bit. This is another thing that I really didn't see coming. I know that like his head didn't seem, at least to me, that he was like really fully invested in a competitive COD as of, last year. And this year, it was just like a weird thing for me to see, just because even before I became a professional Call of Duty player, Matt was someone that I really looked up to. And it was really sad to me because, ever since I've been playing, he's been the person that I enjoy playing against the most. And if you guys saw my tweet, it's like, I've mentioned it before, but, he and I, we always had a really fun dynamic to play against each other, and I always really enjoyed it. He was always a test of my skill, and I like to think that I was a test of his. It was a good back and forth throughout all the years that he and I played together. Like I said, I don't know if he shares the same sentiment as I do, and it's okay if he doesn't, but he was someone that I looked up to even while competing. So it's really fucking sad to see him go. He was just one of my favorite people ever to play against, because if you weren't on your shit, he would destroy you. So I always tip that. So Matt, if you're watching this, buddy, it was a pleasure. I'm gonna miss you. So this is only early days of Rostermania. There's a few deadlines approaching within the next week or so for signings and announcements and stuff like that. So that's really when you guys want to look forward to things. But like I said, this is just like not even scratching the surface. There is a million moves that still need to be made. I haven't even announced what I'm gonna do. There's so many possibilities, and the fact that this Envoy and Crim situation happened, it just makes things infinitely more entertaining, because those were two, like, genuinely, this is not YouTuber Sam or whatever, like, genuinely, I had no fucking clue that these two were gonna get dropped. Like, I don't understand it, but let me know in the comments below what you guys are predicting. Where do you think Crim's gonna go? I'm genuinely curious. Like I said, I think he needs to approach a big brand. So I don't, he's played for Optic. I don't think that's gonna happen. I don't know how Seth's relationship is with him. I don't know if that is water under the bridge. That whole, you guys are well aware. I don't need to dive in there. But I don't think Optic's gonna happen. Dallas obviously isn't happening. So I think he needs a big brand, and I'm not quite sure what he values in terms of, salary, players he wants to play with, stuff like that. So let me know in the comments what you guys are thinking for Crim's roster, because I'm genuinely curious what the general consensus really will be. Appreciate you guys for watching, as always. And like I said, if this video does well enough, I will definitely continue to make stuff like this as the series, or as the roster moves unfold. And eventually, once I get to mine, I'll gladly give you guys an update video and stuff like that. So appreciate you guys for watching, as always. Have a fantastic rest of your day.